Hello everyone, I am finally back with another episode of Cooking with Love. I didn't do a video last week, but that's okay. I'm going to try and make up for it next week. Last week, of course, was Thanksgiving, so I was super busy. I did sweet potato pies. What else did I do? Banana pudding, strawberry banana pudding. Hello, welcome. And I also did, what else did I cook? Greens. And they turned out really good. So tonight we're gonna be cooking chickpea curry. Where do I want to start? Okay, so a lot of you may know that normally I do the crock pot meals at night. It is the preference because by the time you wake up in the morning, it's done. So today's episode is gonna be like a two-part because halfway through I add the coconut milk. But I'm not going to show that because it's probably going to be at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I doubt if I'm recording that. But what I am going to do is record after it's done and show you how I put everything together. And I'm actually going to show plating this time. We'll see. Most likely I will. So I've taken my chickpeas and soaked them. And I know you all know from last time I was saying like I don't soak my beans or anything like that. This time I unintentionally soaked my chickpeas because I was trying to record earlier. And that didn't work out as planned. But that's okay. So they've been soaking since maybe about 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock, something like that. But I did most of the bag. So I bought mine this time from, I got them at my local grocery store. Hello, welcome. Called Meyer. And I got them in one of these bags. So it's not your traditional like pre-packaged bag of chickpeas. I used those before and I just found that to me they were a little hard. Thank you. I got it from Aldo shoe store. Yeah, so these have been soaking since like 1 o'clock. Again, it's not necessary to soak them this long. I'm doing chickpea curry. And it's not your traditional recipe because like I got it from Pinterest. Like Pinterest is my favorite. But I didn't do the recipe exactly as it called for because I think you're actually supposed to use like tomatoes in it. And I didn't do that, but I've been making it like this and I really like it. So I just keep doing it the same way. Thank you all for joining. But so these are your chickpeas and they have been soaking, like I said, since 1 o'clock. But you don't have to soak them overnight or anything. Just make sure you thoroughly rinse them in hot water at least 4 or 5 times. You want them to start pruning, getting a little ripply. So now we're going to take our chickpeas and you're going to take your lovely crock pot. I'm going to put these on low. No, I'm going to put these on high because to me chickpeas take a little bit longer to cook than other beans. And it could have been because I wasn't soaking them as long. So maybe we'll see. Maybe this could be a new learning experience today for all of us. So I'm going to take these and pour them into the crock pot. Now, I do these too when I'm fasting. And normally if I do a Daniel fast, I don't use any meat product at all. And so I'll use vegetable stock. And so I think normally it's like 2 of the pretty big things of vegetable stock. You can do that or not do that. It's completely up to you. If you're vegan, then you want to use the vegetable stock. If you're not, then we're going to use Better Than Bouillon. Actually, I'm going to use both today because I did finally open this and use it. And my greens, when I cooked them for Thanksgiving, and they were really good. But I still have some of this left, so I'm going to kind of mix it. And we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to take about, let's see. I'm going to do a tablespoon of this one and a tablespoon of that one. Actually, let me do the dry one first. And so this is the other one I use. So anyone is wondering, it's a soup base. And again, if you are vegan or don't eat meat, that's perfectly fine. You can use vegetable stock, which is... It works just the same. I will say, of course, the flavor is not as powerful, but if you don't eat meat, you don't care about that anyway, so it won't matter to you. I'm going to take that and kind of mix it in a little bit. Of course, once it starts cooking, it's all going to melt down anyway. And my seasoning. So I use quite a bit of different seasonings when I do this. Really? I'm going to have to watch it. So, of course, everyone knows this is my favorite seasoning. The herbs and spices one, it's almost out, so. But thank goodness I have a lot more. So I'm going to sprinkle that on top. Not too heavy. I hope you guys can see. Just like lightly, because you can always season more later. You don't have to season as much now. And then I take my cumin. This is from Aldi. It's been going strong with me. And again, you know, well, I will say with the chickpea curry, I do tend to be a little heavy-handed because I just love the flavor of all the seasonings I use. Oh, really? Put it in the fridge. That's a good idea. So you already have it. And so I put quite a bit of cumin. Then I have my coriander. This is from Spice Islands. You can see that. And we're gonna, I am a little heavy-handed when it comes to this meal because I love the aromatic smells and just the taste is good. This is my, I'm trying to think, is this the second time I've used this one? I just bought this because it was on sale. So we're gonna put that in there. And I'm gonna use some garlic powder. Doesn't matter what brand. Of course, if it's an overpowering one, don't do that. But be careful with garlic powder because sometimes it can be a little consuming. And then my curry powder, and I'm using this one. I had like a generic one from like the dollar store a while back, and it was not cutting it. But this stuff, when I told you, it is awesome sauce. If you can get this, or you have like some bomb curry powder, then hey, you are all the way in there already. And like I said, I got this recipe off of Pinterest. Like the original was on there. I didn't do it exactly like that, but it still turned out good to me. So that's what I use. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of, I love smoked paprika. This is a sweet one. I can't use the hot one because my little one doesn't. She doesn't like hot stuff yet. Notice I said yet. She'll learn to love it eventually. Not before it's too early though. So put a little bit of that in there. Again, the chickpeas, to me, they kind of absorb all of this. So, you know, it just all works out to like this beautiful melody of flavor. And then I use a little bit of turmeric. Don't go overpowering with it, because later we're going to put a lot more curry powder in it. So basically, that is it for now. I put, almost forgot. I'm going to put a little bit more water in here because we did put that chicken stock in there. So, and when you're putting the water in here, it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. I mean, it's all going to warm up later anyway. But you do want to make sure that your chickpeas are covered. So if you can see that, oh shoot. They are completely covered, you know. And if you want, you can mix if you use this, you can. And you can also use chicken stock. I mean, if you want to buy that, then hey, that works too. Put a pinch of pepper in there to activate the turmeric. Well, this has pepper in it too, so I don't know if I need both. But yeah, if I feel like it doesn't have that right hint, then I'll do that. But then that's all I do for now. And then about halfway through, probably like I said, about 3 a.m. I normally wake up. Normally by that time, I'm like, oh, it smells good. Let me go get a little taste. And it's not quite done. But what I like to do then, and this is from the recipe that I got off of Pinterest, I put in my coconut milk. And so then I'll put in 2 cans of that. And this isn't organic. I mean, it's non-GMO. It says verified. But if you are like, hey, it needs to be organic. I've used it and I didn't really taste a difference. But, I mean, if you want to, you can. But I use this, and so about halfway through, like I said, I'll come down and I'll put these in there. And then I'll kind of smash some of the chickpeas up to kind of, to me, it makes it thicker, if that makes sense, because you're like releasing what's in the chickpea out. Like the same thing with your beans. And that's what I didn't show, because I didn't come back after I did what beans did I do last time? Pinto beans. And is it no, it's not going to be a soup. It's going to be pretty thick. Like the one I saw on Pinterest, like you put it over rice, and I do mine the same way. So it's more like, I guess, a side dish, if you can say. We'll see. But I'm going to plate up. I'm going to do a plating video after it's done in the morning, so you all can see how I played and how it looks. So I will do a finished one this time, because of course it's going to take a little while. Like I said, when I come back about 3 a.m., I'll put these in there, smash some of the peas, and taste and see what more seasons I need. And again, like, you can season to taste. Like, I love a little bit of extra oomph. Oh, thank you. I love a little bit of extra oomph. So this is my, like I said, my go-to. And I go hard with the curry powder. Like, later on, after it's like almost done, I'll put some more in. And whatever reason, like, this stuff is bomb. Like, if you can get this, by all means, get this. But I know I'm pretty much done with this part. But I did want to come on and talk about patience, because that has been something that I have had to really walk in lately. And I know I'm not the only one. It's funny, I was talking to my, like, learning patience in certain areas again is like, okay, God, really? Is this really necessary? And I don't know about you all, but me, I, like, personally feel like God has something special for people who, like, have had to exercise patience in certain areas in their life. Like, I know there has to be some type of reward. I mean, because, you know, the Bible says that patience is a virtue. And when I tell you it is. Like, I have cried tears. I have prayed hard. And I'm like, God, okay, God, when is this? Situations, you know, this gonna change, that gonna change. But I just want to encourage anyone else who is having to learn patience in this season just to keep pressing and keep praying and do not give up. It is so easy to give up. And of course, that's what Satan wants for us to give up. And, oh, this is never going to happen, or that's not going to work out for your favor. You're good. It's like, no, it is. That's why it feels so hard and it feels like it's never going to happen. It's because it is. And I just want to encourage anyone who is, yes, it is all in God's time and not ours. And I think coming to that realization, but also walking in that realization is key. You know, because you can hear that all day long, but you have to accept it. You know, and really accept it in your heart. Like, okay, it's not going to be exactly how I want it to be when I want it to be, but it is for a purpose. And we may not see the purpose now. We may not see the purpose until, you know, we go to glory and see the Lord. But no, it is for a purpose. And I'm just thanking God in advance for bringing me through this season of patience and the things that I'm learning, not only, you know, about myself, but about others, and just also stretching that patience towards other people. If he brings you to it, yes, so true. Yes, he will. You know, we have to remind ourselves of that. I think sometimes it's so easy to be like, oh, God is about to do it. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to happen right now. And God's like, you thought wrong. You thought wrong. No, it's not going to be like that. So, you know, and not that some things don't happen like that for some people and some of us in some situations, but other things he's like, no. You're going to learn. You're going to get your walking shoes on, and we're going to go through this marathon. But the great thing is we're not alone in it. Like, God is right there with us. The Holy Spirit, Jesus, you know, they have our back. You know, and it just makes me grateful that I have a relationship with God, with Christ, and because other than that, I would have been giving up, you know, and it's like, it's so easy to like, oh, I can't do this. And you know what? We can't. It's through his strength. And I'm so thankful for the realization of that over the years, because every time I'm like, oh my gosh, God, like, what is going on? I can't. And it's like, no, you can't. But we have to put our trust in him and just allow him to guide us, even if it's a second by second day for you. If that's how it is, then that's how it is. If you got to say, oh my goodness, Jesus, like, I trust you this second, and next second, God, I trust you this second, until we get to that place of, okay, I can do better with this. You know, now I'm hour by hour or minute by minute or day by day. You know, I'm thankful for that place of coming into God and realizing that, you know, it's not always going to be easy, you know, and some things become a true testimony. And sometimes we need that testimony to help others, because sometimes they wouldn't have heard us or really felt where we were coming from. Like, oh yeah, it's going to be fine. But when you've been through it, you can be like, listen, this is why I know it's going to be fine. This is why I know it's going to be better than fine. It's going to be great. Because let me tell you my experience and what I went through. You know, let me tell you how I prayed and I cried and I woke up 3 a.m. praying and I believed God even though my situation looked hopeless. You know, I'm trying not to cry here because I'm also speaking to myself, but it's you know, I'm just thankful for God teaching me patience in this season. And as hard as or difficult as it may feel or seem at moments, you know, I know it is for a purpose. I cook curry chickpeas. For those that missed it, I just used the chickpeas that were out of my grocery store in one of these bags. I didn't use the prepackaged bags because to me, they come out a little bit harder. If you're vegan, you can use vegetable stock, and if you're not, you can use chicken stock or, you know, I use better than bouillon. I used a little bit of that, tablespoon of that, and a tablespoon of this one. For those that missed the recipe, I used coriander, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of turmeric, some cumin. Now this is from Aldi, and then this is my favorite curry powder so far. And the last two is I use a little bit of smoked paprika, just a little bit. And then my favorite. And like I said earlier, about 3 a.m. I'm going to come down and put my coconut milk in it, 2 cans. And I'm going to smash some of the the chickpeas. And so they can kind of loosen up and thicken up. It is, yes, that's yellow curry. Let's need a close up. But yeah, so it's going to be curry chickpeas. It is not the traditional recipe that I did see on Pinterest. A lot of them had tomatoes in it. I haven't tried it with that yet. Honestly, I didn't see tomatoes in it the first time I saw it on the recipe. First time I got the recipe, I didn't see that on there. I'm like, oh, how did I miss that? But my family loved it, you know, the way I cooked it. So I just keep cooking it that way. But, you know, just to end this real quick, because I didn't want this one to be too long, because I'm going to come back in the morning and show you all how I plate up and how it looks at the end result. But just whoever is facing the test of patience, I just encourage you to keep praying, keep pressing, stay in your word. That is something I've been trying to make sure I maintain doing lately, and it has truly been a blessing to my life. And it helps you get the extra encouragement. I will not lie. Like last night, I cried. I definitely did. But in that moment, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, whatever it was. And I was just like, you know, I don't have anyone. I mean, granted, I could have called someone. But at that point, I was like, you know, like David in the Bible, sometimes you have to encourage yourself in the Lord. And I just encouraged myself. And I was like, girl, it's going to be okay. And I told God, I was like, God, I need a hug right now. And I need you to rock me to sleep. And before I knew it, I was fast asleep. But sometimes we have moments like that. And that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay. You know, and use those moments that you've been through to become a testimony to you and to help someone else. Because someone else out there is crying who doesn't even have the faith or the inkling to know, you know, to call on God or to seek Him. Yes, we are single mom strong, you know, to all the single moms out there, you know, I'm praying for you. It is tough, but it is worth it, you know, and God has your back every step of the way. We just have to learn to trust Him fully and also to be obedient. You know, a lot of times God is calling us to do things and you're like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do that one. And God's like, oh, excuse me. You gave your life unto me. It is about what I'm calling you to do. So, you know, just wanted to say that about being patient and us learning patience in this season. Whoever else is with me, we're going to keep pressing and praying. And then I will be back again tomorrow morning to show you all the end results of the Jesus help me, the curry chickpeas. So I pray that this not only fed your stomach, but I pray it fed your soul. And you all stay blessed and have a terrific night. I know I'm about to go to bed because I'm tired. But love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.